So right now I just try to compare the bokeh of the Canon FD 35-105, focusing of course on the Gundam, so I put my point of light. Takumars-Zoom at 100mm. Okay, right now this is a bit confusing and it's looking damn good. At 125 f4, I'm really surprised. And using the very big focal reducer. Anyway, now my last test acquisition, Takumars-Zoom right now, and this is just for reference, not for comparison. I just want to see how it's rendering. Video coming soon. Don't worry about it. Now let's get down to the business with the Takumar. First, I need to apologize to Mr. Cosmas Onos. Many times on this channel, you recommended me this lens, and I did not take you seriously. I'm sorry. I have one microphone third. You understand why. Low light, no bokeh, you get the point. Anyway, I just touched the lens a bit and... oh, la.
Fellas, I'm ready to get up and do my thing. I want to get into it, man, you know. Now listen.
The Asahi Takumar-Zoom 45mm 125 f4. Okay, let's start. The few owners of this lens call it the hidden gem of the Takumar. Is it a gem? We will see, but spoiler alert, pretty close. Is it hidden? Not really. Let's say this is one rarity that is criminally overlooked. Perhaps the strangest Asahi lens one can find. He has one focal length of 45mm, last M42 made by Asahi. His production lasted only 2 years, and it was replaced in 1975 by the Pentax K variant. 10 models are for sale on eBay at the moment of this video. YouTube doesn't fare much with 8 to 10 clips and only 2 reviews. And another bit of nonsense of the vintage market. The M42 and the Pentax K share the same build, exactly the same lens. But the M42 costs something like 2 times more than the Pentax K. Anyway, the only thing you need to remember for the spec is just f4, 1.5 minimum focusing distance, 45 to 125. Yeah, that's it. Okay, let's move on. Just before the microphone battery ran out, I was saying that I will compare the main focal lengths of the Zoom to their prime equivalents. The 35mm focal length versus the SMC 50mm f1.4, the 100mm versus the SMC 105mm f2.8, and of course the 135mm to the 145mm f3.5. Okay, here I am on the Takumar-Zoom 45mm aperture. The zoom f4 and all the primes are set to f4. Typically, f4 5.6 are where the primes perform the best, and the Takumar are no exception. No focal reducer or filter, the color profile is set to natural, all settings to 0, except for noise reduction set to -3. Only the shutter speed will be adjusted to avoid overexposing the image. But I'm pretty sure you guessed my goal. Yes, Sherlock, you got it right. Can I replace my primes with this zoom when I don't need a blurred background? Simple as that. Let's be honest, we all dream of a vintage zoom that can replace a set of primes. And so far, it is impressive. Right now, in natural light on a cloudy day using a 8-bit Micro Four Third camera, this 50-year-old zoom delivers remarkable image quality. Excellent balance of sharpness and smoothness, clean vintage image. Keep in mind that its wide open are f4 and is not even its best. I can see all the details, skin, hair, even the drop of sweat. Amazing. Of course, compared to the primes, the background is less blurry and there is a noticeable difference in saturation and contrast. But these are easily fixable in post. Other than that, the zoom shares the same character as the prime, which shouldn't come as a surprise. The logic suggests that a manufacturer will not bother making new glass for a zoom, but instead use the optic from their primes. Friends, if I had said this was a Zeiss, you will have believed me without question. I can tell you right away that it looks better than the Canon FD 35-105. In my opinion, the image quality is good enough for a professional set. It's clean, it's sharp, it's desaturated, perfect for filming. Looking damn nice. Allez, c'est parti. Oula là 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 là. Allez, on se dépêche, allez, plus vite, allez, c'est parti. On va à droite, en haut, à droite. Allez. Allez, on descend. Some people will probably say that this zoom is just like any other Takumar, it lacks character. I don't want to dive into because it is a false problem. Those in the know understand that the story choose the lens, not the other way around, and especially not YouTube trends. As for me, I noticed that the more time passes, the more I prefer a clean vintage image. It's giving me leeway in post-production. It's easy to dirty an image, aka give it character, than to clean it up. That said, between us, if you are hired to film an adult movie, yeah, one part, and decide to use your Petzval or Helios lens to add some nice and romantic swirl bokeh, it might look cool, but it's probably not going to match the vibe the client is looking for. So better you keep it clean and fix it in post. You know I am a fan of the cold design of the original SMC Takumar. However, for this one, I will have to pass. Asahi did the bare minimum with this build. The design is not ugly, let's say it's anonymous, it's unbranded. If it were not for the name on the lens, you will not even recognize it is an Asahi. There are no focusing zone markings, which is quite strange considering that most of the push-pull zooms from this period have them. Nevertheless, the lens is built like a bulletproof car, solid metal and thick glass. It's big, heavy, front heavy to be precise. But for us people into filming, we appreciate the 600 grams he adds to a rig. Speaking of video, push-pull zoom lenses, as you likely know, were not designed for filming. But you can definitely manage to do so, as long as you don't plan to drag the focus while filming. It's stiff. There is also a zoom creep from 100 to 125mm, at least on my model. However, the focusing is smooth enough for a follow focus. The aperture is easy to declick. Also, before I forget, the lens rotates when focusing, but adding a matte box won't be an issue since the lens doesn't extend when focusing or zooming. Next. I present to you the gem checklist that will help us to define what a gem is and is not. It is simple. For a lens to be considered a gem, everything must fall into the excellent or very good columns. So let's dive in with this Takumar. At f4 the lens delivers very good sharpness and is just getting better after f5.6. So excellent. Chromatic aberration are minimal. Once you stop down to 5.6, it is virtually gone, so I give it a very good. Very good contrast, 100 and 125mm focal length seem to be the best for sharpness and colors. For the aperture, f4 is barely average. Usability. It's a push-pull zoom, not parfocal, 1.5 minimum focusing distance, and the focus rings rotates. It's front heavy, so I have to say mediocre. Very good build quality. Here comes the tricky part. Most lenses get the character from the aesthetic of the optical flows. But for the Takumar this is the opposite. Their character is about their crisp rendering, sharpness, vibrant colors and minimal defects. And this zoom is very good at that. Versatility. Listen, you get one 45, 50, 75, 100 and 125 mm. And when you add the focal reducer, you have a 30, 35, 50, 70, 85 mm, meaning that you have 10 focal lengths in one lens. Total jackpot. So excellent. Reputation. This is Asahi, so it's not even a subject of discussion. Rarity. Now it is confusing. I mark it as excellent, but you should not consider it as a good criteria. This is just from a collector point of view. But the demand is low, even inexistent. Value. If you are in Takumar, yes, the value is high. If you are not, there's no value for you. Also, on eBay, it is priced at $150. For a f4 push-pull lens, is way overpriced. So I will check mediocre. But if you find it under $50, it is one of the best deals of your life. I had mine for $20. So to sum up, it does not look like we have a gem, but I still consider it like a very great vintage zoom that any owners of Takumars should have.